Good afternoon, everybody. This is Dale Stonick, Director of Safety here at ACE Doran. Today with me is Jason O'Brien. Jason? We're a little rusty. Go ahead, Jason.
Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you had a wonderful holiday. What do you got for us today, Dale?
Well, all right. Our usual fare here. So we'll go ahead, and we've got a couple of things we're going to talk about. But first off, let's just see how we're doing with our CSA scores. So for the ACE BME side, it's unsafe driving went down 3 percentage points to 41%. It's trending in the right direction. It's good to see. Hours of service, no change, but still at 83%. Obviously, that's way too high for our liking. We're going to continue on working, getting that score down. Driver fitness, up 1 percentage point to 38. Vehicle maintenance down 1% to 84, so that's a good sign to see, but we're going to need some better results. And crash indicator up 6 percentage points to 33. On the wind government side, we are at 4% on unsafe, still looking good. The only other score that we have is vehicle maintenance. It's up 8 percentage points to 54%. That is the highest I have seen it in probably about a year and a half or 2 years. What I'm seeing is happening is we do not get a lot of inspections, but the ones we do get are bad for vehicle maintenance, so we really need to get on top of that and make sure that any inspections we get are now clean with no violations on the vehicle. If that continued trend will be over a threshold, probably about 4 to 5 months, so we need to get that reversed. So everyone needs to really concentrate on doing really good vehicle inspections and fixing defects right away. On one topic I do want to talk about is on injury prevention. We did have an incident here a couple of weeks ago where one of our drivers was helped loading and they had an injury where the tip of their finger got pinched and sliced off. So I just want to remind everybody we are moving into that time of year where more injuries, on-the-job injuries, are likely to happen. So let's just make sure we follow the following prevention tips. When exiting your tractor cab, always face the cab. Use 3 points of contact when entering or exiting. Keep your weight evenly distributed so you don't lose your balance. Make sure you're wearing shoes with non-slip soles. Look before your step, especially now where we're into some parts of the country where we have winter weather. That last step down could be an icy one, truck stops especially. Watch out for pinch points and always keep your hands in sight. If you can't see your hands, obviously it's an accident that could be waiting to happen. Let's go ahead and congratulate the drivers who've had clean inspections in the last 30 days. Clinton Bray, William Scott, Jack Skelly, Eugene Hatch, Curtis Mearsma, Wilfred Colon, and Levi Miller. So we have, we have 7 individuals who will draw for the Yeti here at the end of the show. So congratulate those individuals for getting those clean inspections. The other thing I just want to bring on some housekeeping notes here, just to remind everybody, maintenance reports are due by the 6th of next month, so go ahead and get those turned in now. That day will be here before you know it. Don't wait and put that off. You can either send in the reports via paper version or go online to Driver's IG. The other mentions I want to say is we'll have a lot of our annual inspections due in January, February, and March. With that being said, don't wait until the very end. Go ahead and get those done early. That way, if there's an issue, you have a chance to correct it. Some of the issues that we do see is where you go to get your inspection. Make sure the name of that shop is on the inspection report. They have the address and a phone number on there. And you want to double-check your VIN number. Over a third of the time, inspectors put the wrong VIN number. An 8 becomes a B and vice versa, and we can't accept those. So double-check that. We will take just the last 6 of the VIN, so make sure that is correct. But get ahead of that before it's too late. If something should arise and you wait to the last day, you won't be able to move until that is corrected. 2290s were also due here at the end of August, 1st of September. We are wanting to do plate renewals earlier this year. I do know that the IRS is closed for maintenance purposes here for the next 2 weeks. So if you're going to be using our plates, as soon as they open back up here, second week of January, get that taken care of. We do want to get that done early so that we're not waiting to the very end getting registrations out to other people. We've had a couple people ask about IFTA stickers. Those have been mailed out. Bless you, Jason. The quiet sneeze. So those have been mailed. If you haven't got them, they should be on their way. The government win, we will be getting ours here shortly, sometime this week is what I was told by the Ohio IRP. The other thing that I do want to make note of is if you go onto Driver's IG, there is a survey out there that I would ask if you have the time, please do so today. We had a couple of our drivers nominate us to be one of the best fleets to drive for. We've gone through the process of the carrier filling out a 400 question survey, going through a very intense interview process, and the only thing we need left is 29 more drivers to complete the survey. I think it's about 50 questions. It takes 15 minutes to complete that. So please, if you have the time, do that right away so we can complete that aspect and be in the running for one of the top fleets to drive for. Jason, do you have some things you want to mention, especially with the regulation change on the hours of service here last week or 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I guess closer to 10 days ago. Well, that, of course, is in effect. We have had a couple of drivers have an issue with how that's changed to go from maybe if you're on Rad McNally from the 2.9 miles to the 5 miles per hour, where drivers that were already under that but have now moved their vehicle without putting it in personal conveyance for a reason that would have qualified for that, and then interrupting a break or interrupting a 10-hour reset or even your 34-hour reset. So again, just with that, anytime you are going to move the vehicle for any reason, make sure that you do put it in a proper moving status or driving status. You don't want to be interrupting those things and then kind of upsetting other things because of that. It's unlikely that all officers would be able to understand all situations, and it would be a violation that we could prevent, had we done it correctly from the beginning. One thing I did want to mention as well is with the drivers, if you guys have any questions, comments, or safety tips, please press *3 to get into the queue for that, especially if it's about that ELD mandate now being in full effect. And then with Dale mentioning earlier, hours of service being at 82%. 83%.
I wish it was 82.
Yeah. With our score there, our biggest violation is still personal conveyance and people using that inappropriately. So if you are going to use personal conveyance, make sure that it's within the scope of what personal conveyance is. Another thing that we also have some violations with is form and manner, making sure that you're changing your shipping documents each day, putting in the pro number and changing that with each load that you have, and making sure that your trailer number is completed and they're fully on that form and manner section, no matter what ELD system you're on. Just keeping those things up to date. One thing that I was going to mention also is we are nearing the end of the quarter, so if you haven't had a safety meter, whether you need an in-person one or doing it online, make sure that you do complete that before the end of the year. You got a couple of days left to do that. Yeah. So make sure that you get your safety bonus. We want to give you that money if you've earned it, and make sure that you do have it.
Yeah, most definitely. I think last year we had a driver or two waited to the very last hour beforehand, and they had some technical glitches and were not able to qualify. So by all means, if you have the time right now, there's no reason not to do it right now online. So Driver's IG, and then hit the safety section, drop down, and online meetings. So
yeah, I went and checked it out this morning. It's up and running great. It's ready for the drivers there. So.
And I just updated everyone who took them online, so I'm current in that regards too. It's a good segue that Jason brought up. We have got a couple of meetings already, in-person safety meetings planned for next year, so there's no sense in waiting till the very end. But we will be doing Cleveland on February 22nd, Cincinnati February 29th. That will be at the Great Wolf Lodge, which I think is Mason, if I'm not mistaken. Youngstown March 7th, Morton March 14th, And then we have the Matt's Louisville Truck Show on the 28th.
Wow, those are great. And we love when you guys come out and we get to see you and spend some time with you. So I'd appreciate it if you guys do check out those dates and you can make it, get in there, have breakfast with us, and talk about safety a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, we did change to Youngstown. We're actually having it at the Holiday Inn at the truck stop.
So is that going to be a dedicated room?
Yes.
So we don't have to worry about sitting in the middle? That's great.
Yeah, so we don't get bumped by the church group.
That's great.
I've had enough of that.
So to continue on, we're kind of nearing the end of a year-long journey that we've had with dash cams. You guys know we've been talking about those a lot, and we've got about 75%, just a little bit over that, of our drivers to get dash cams this year from about 23%, which is where we started in January. So everybody that's decided that it's a good idea to protect themselves and make sure that they're covering their butt with the dash cam, I don't really see a reason why not to have one. Now, of course, going forward, even though we've achieved 75%, which is what we set out in the beginning of the year, next year, starting January the 1st, any of the new drivers that we do bring on, it'll be mandatory to have a dash cam. So any of our existing drivers, it's still not required. But any new drivers coming on, it will be required, just so everybody knows that. And then, of course, dash cams are still available, however, for our existing drivers. If you don't have one yet and you'd like to have one, I'm just a phone call away. I'll get it sent to you through FedEx, and you can hook it up and protect yourself, before something bad happens when you need it, kind of situation. So.
Yeah, and I know I mentioned it last meeting, but if you do have a camera, please make sure it's plugged in, or if you got to turn it on, make sure it's operational. We did have a couple events where individuals hadn't turned them on or they weren't plugged in, and thankfully those accidents didn't turn out to be severe, and our drivers and everyone was all right. But it's a tool, and you got to make sure it's working for it to maximize its usefulness, not leaving it in the box.
Well, yeah, that's true. In the box, it doesn't do anybody any good.
Nope.
But yeah, make sure it's plugged in. With what we're doing with dash cams, we kind of have moved, since a lot of drivers do have them, more to an educational standpoint on dash cams. So there's any questions on any of the formats that you might have for your dash cam, even if it's not one that I supply to drivers, if it's something that you have. We do have some people that are good with technical know-how around. Please call us, ask questions. You can talk to me or Pat or Alex, who are two of our IT guys here. We'd be happy to help you out and assisting you in any way with your dash cam, whether it's one of ours or one that you purchased on your own. We'll do whatever we can to help you out with it.
Yeah, so even if you have an issue with it after an accident, as long as it's plugged in and working, we just had an event, 2 weeks ago, Jason, where one of the Keep Trucking cameras was having some sort of technical glitch, but they were able to unplug it and mail it in to you, and we spent a couple of hours, but you were able to get the video footage where the passenger car came in on our driver and hit him on the passenger side of the front there.
Well, yeah, and that's a really interesting situation. That the driver of the passenger vehicle was on a suspended license. They didn't have insurance, and when you watch that dash cam video, you can see that they shouldn't have a license, and they would speed up really fast and then slam on their brakes. And this is to the right of our vehicle, with them being in the left lane on a 4-lane road, 2 lanes each direction. But you could see their bad driving habits when we did get that video. But yeah, there was an issue where normally with Keep Trucking, we can just go ahead and get it remotely. You just leave the camera in your truck. We send a request to it, and then it sends it to us, and we're able to view it and then share it with you and law enforcement. In this situation, it wasn't ideal. The camera, for some reason, didn't look like it was recording, but it was. And then it wasn't letting us request the video remotely. So they did just send the camera in to me. I took some time. I made a few calls to Keep Trucking, and we're able to get that video off and then supply it to law enforcement as well as the driver, so they had that. It was good to have it, especially in that situation where you had the driver showing those bad driving habits that they had right before the accident.
Yep. So, better to have it than not have it working at all. So, definitely.
Absolutely.
So, just a reminder, any questions or comments, *3. Go ahead and put those in the queue, and we'll take your call right now. The only thing I have, Jason, is if you want to draw for the Yeti Cup, see which driver is so fortunate to. Is this the last of the red, or we still have a couple more?
We only have 3 black left.
Oh, we're on black.
We've had 3 black ones.
Okay.
out already. So this will be for the 4th black one.
Okay.
And then maybe we'll pick another color. I don't know. We'll go with this name right here, and it is going to be Clinton Bray.
Clinton Bray.
Clinton Bray.
All right. Congratulations, Clint. We'll get that mailed off to you.
Yes. It's a Yeti. I'm not saying
any more.
descriptors. Yeah.
We decided it's many things. All right. Well, let's go ahead. We have a couple of drivers that jumped in right away. Let's go ahead and Samuel Davis. Sam, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. Are you back in Nevada?
Yeah, I'm back at home. I was
All right.
curious.
You had a good flight out, huh?
Yes. No, actually, it was horrible, but well, we got delayed like 2 hours. Some guy in the back of the plane decided to try to light something on fire, so we had to divert to Denver, and then
Ooh.
Right. So then we were trying to land in Las Vegas, and the wind picked up, so we had to do a go round. So it was a flight that never ended. I think I'm still on it right now.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, sorry to hear that.
What question or tip do you have for us today?
I also got a good review on a good inspection. Where do we send that into?
You can drive axle that to us. So if you have the Drive Axle app, just put safety at acedoran.com and send that in, please.
All right, thank you.
All right, excellent. Good job. Like to hear those.
Yeah, thanks for the clean inspection.
All right. We have another caller. I believe it's Travis. Travis, how are you?
Hey there, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. What can we help you with?
If we are just say we're at a shipper and we pulled up, and you're going to have to wait, so you have to park down, a little bit away from the receipt or shipping dock, and then, say you're sitting there a half hour to an hour, and then they come out to get you and you have to move back in the dock. How do you make the moves legally without going back in the drive time?
Well, on all of our ELDs, you have the option for yard move, and if you're on a facility that's not open to the public as a public road, you're able to use that as yard move, which is going to record as on-duty time, but it won't record as drive time, so it won't affect your 11-hour. So that's what you would be able to use in that situation.
Okay. And then can I ask one more question?
Yeah, you sure. There's no limit.
Oh, okay. If I'm on my home time, say I'm home for the weekend or whatnot, and my truck is at the truck stop and I'm at home and I have my iPad with me, is the dash cam still recording the whole time?
Well, if you have the Keep Trucking dash cam and it has power to it, so it would depend upon how long it's been there. Like if you disconnect your batteries, it won't. But it does have like a motion detector in it. We recently had an incident where we had one of our drivers at a truck stop, and he was in the bunk sleeping, and there was a truck that was backing into a spot that was across from him, and that truck ended up just like completely running into another truck. Our driver hadn't been driving or using his logs for quite some time, but we were able to get that footage and provide that to authorities for the hit and run. So if you have a Keep Trucking dash cam or the Katie Links, they do have motion detection systems built in. So if they detect motion like a truck driving by or something else like that, or even G sensors, so like if somebody hits your truck, that would be like another thing that could trigger it to come on. Yes, they will record in those situations.
Okay, awesome. Well, that's it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for calling in, Travis. All right, moving on to our next caller, we have Mike. Mike, how are you doing today?
I'm still hanging in here, y'all.
Just by a thread. What's your
Yeah.
question or safety tip for us today?
My question is I tried signing up for that cleaning house garbage. I had a driver send me an email or a link to it, and it sent me right to basically, if I was a license almost like a company or something or other, that I had put my uh, email address in there, and I did that. And then suddenly now I can't get back into it because it gave me a code to put in. There's no place to put that code or anything. And I'm wondering if that was the right link or whatever. So I would appreciate it if, since we got to sign up for this, that you all send out the proper link so that we can send on or fill that thing on out by the end of the year.
Mike, this is Dale. The web address was clearinghouse.fmcsa.dot.gov, and from there, when you get on that, go ahead.
I did that, and that brought
Okay.
me to almost like a driver's license agency and stuff, and they asked me for my email, and I put that in there. And
Yep, and then it sends you a link.
Yeah, and no place to put that link. It didn't send me a link, it sent me a number.
What it does is it will send a link to your email address that you entered in there. It's a verification gate, and once you hit that link, it brings you back into the website, and there's where you enter your driver's license number, and then it's going to send you out a verification code to your phone, and then that's the last step of that process. It's a 2 verification step setup.
Okay, well, modern electronics, I don't take long, so
when we're through with
again.
the call, I'll give you a call back and help you out. All right?
I'd appreciate it.
Okay. Here, let me write that down.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. All right. I did just have a driver text us, and evidently the survey link on Driver's IG is down. We will look to see what happened to it. If we have to, we'll send out an email to, if you're interested, please contact, and we'll send you an email link so we can get to that to complete the best fleets to drive for link. But we're still needing about 30 more drivers to complete that survey here before the end of the year. So, all right. We got one more that just came in. James Wright. James, how are you?
Yes, sir. I just pulled up the link for the clearinghouse, and what it's doing, somehow it's redirecting you to J.J. Keller.
Really?
And they're trying to pull the information and send you a quote for drug testing services.
That's weird, because this is a government website.
Well,
I
just got into the government website also, but you have to really watch, because if you try to pull up the clearinghouse address and it comes up with a search page, you have to watch the addresses on the search page, because you've got companies trying to divert you into their systems.
All right.
Because I just pulled it up as he was talking about it a second ago.
Okay. Yeah, that's odd, because I've helped probably 3 or 4 drivers to go through it, and yeah, sends a link right to your inbox, and then you go from there back in. So,
well,
all right.
If for some reason it doesn't transfer the link into their browser correctly, they could end up on a search page and then get diverted through the search page.
Okay. All right. As soon as the call's over with, I'll jump on and give Mike a call back and make sure it's operating properly. So, but thank you for letting me know. Patrick, you had something? Okay. All right. All righty. So I'll check that out and make sure it's working like it should. So with that, though, we will go ahead and wrap this up, but don't have anything else. Just hoping everybody had a good time with their family, friends, and loved ones here the last couple of days. Wishing everyone the happiest of holidays. Jason?
Yep, the same. I hope everybody had a great time at their holiday festivities, and here with New Year's coming up, and just stay safe on the road, continue to have and enjoy life.
All right. Thank you.